so the foam method is fairly simple and straightforward. You need a source of your catalase, so you need a cube of whatever you're using, potato, capsicum or liver. The volume can vary, but I'm going to start with 10 mils to begin with of my hydrogen peroxide, and I've actually got it at quite a high concentration, so 6%, just so that the reaction will be quite clear. Okay, so what I do is I get my hydrogen peroxide, measure the volume. I'm going to pour it into a larger measuring cylinder, and what I'm going to add is a couple of drops of detergent. There we go. Alright, so there's a couple of drops of detergent and I give it a swirl. Now, when I add my catalase to the hydrogen peroxide and that reaction starts, we're going to produce some oxygen gas. And what's going to happen is as the oxygen gas bubbles form, they're going to make the detergent froth up. So you can actually measure how much foam and use that as an indication of how much oxygen has been produced. But I have to time it, all right, because I want to know how much oxygen is produced in a set amount of time, because that then can be used to work out a rate. Obviously, more foam in the same amount of time means a higher rate of the reaction. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 minutes, all right, that I'm going to run it in for. So, all right, so I can see oxygen bubbles forming. Right, I can see a little bit of frost. Now remember, that was a fairly high concentration, and I already had 10 mils in there. So what am I going to have to do when I get the total volume? I'm going to have to minus the 10 mils of the hydrogen peroxide that I had in there. So it's frothing up, that's about 30 seconds. Okay. So you might need to vary how long it's in there. You might need to vary the size of your measuring cylinder, all right, or the concentration, depending on the factor you want to test and how much, all right, how clearly you want to be able to see the amount of oxygen that's been produced. But as you can see, that's quite a simple method to do. What sort of factors could you easily alter with that to design your experiment around? You could easily alter the concentration of your hydrogen peroxide. What else could you easily do with that method?
Could you do the source of the catalase?
The source of the catalase, so you could do it several times with a different source. You could, but if you're doing that, what's your testing range going to be? How many different sources have we got?
3.
3. So is that going to be enough data for us? No. So if you were going to do that one, I would say actually test 2 factors at once. Yeah? All right. So you might choose 2 simple factors and the source. So the source, catalase, and what other factor that's simple to do, and you'd actually have 2 aims and 2 hypotheses. And then you'd have some more data to analyse. All right, I'm getting close to my 2-minute mark here. All right, and so I look down, I read the volume. For me, the volume has read off at 14 mils, minus 10, so I produced 4 mils of foam. All right, so that's the foam method. You can probably stop that there.